Hello. Hello. So, I'm really sorry for those of you who aren't on social media. It's taken me this long to get in touch. I have been quite tired since the run, and more than a little overwhelmed with the response that's come from everyone. I did manage to do the run in 12.5 hours, which I was sort of a little bit astonished by. But really, all of that was down to the support and everybody coming out to watch, and all of the good wishes that I felt online, all of the good wishes I felt from all you Type 1ers, be it parents of Type 1 or people who've got Type 1. You lot are such a source of inspiration. I'm incredibly grateful to you. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has forwarded the email, shared the site, sent out a tweet about this, put something out on Facebook. It's blown me away. I never really I was very nervous about being so open. I'm probably one of the least available writers online. I'm a really private person. I'm not on Facebook, or I wasn't on Twitter. And then suddenly I was letting all of this really personal stuff out and putting it out there. Made me feel really vulnerable. But we've just been cloaked in compassion since it all began. I'm incredibly grateful. Support, generosity, just to be a part of all that wonderful feeling. It's been a really special thing. And let's face it, the run would have just been some middle-aged plonker running around in a circle. Because of what you've done, you've made it something really extraordinary, such a beautiful thing to be a part of. I'm so grateful to you for that. And I know that lots of you think, oh, I've got like 2 followers on Twitter, or I know 3 people on email. But actually the strength of your word has been what's carried this thing. A cure is unquestionably inevitable for Type 1. And you're just hurrying that all along. I think we've got this out too. We worked it out through the media and social media to about 4.5 million people. And that's all down to you. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm ever so grateful to you. I can't. The words are not enough. We started at the Evelina Children's Hospital, and I just wanted to tell George. I wanted to tell George about somebody called Misha Costa, who saved your life, George. She transferred us from Kingston Hospital to the Evelina. She held the line into your neck, and she was the one that did all that wonderful work to stop you being incubated, which means that you came back as George when there was a very strong chance that you would have been severely brain damaged. She kind of saved your life several times in one night. I'm not supposed to know her. Part of the culture that we've created and the way that we treat the NHS means that I don't know, perhaps people believe that if we're friends with her, she might give me some information that means that I could come back and sue her on the NHS. I'd lay down my life for her quite happily. I certainly wouldn't sue the NHS. She's an extraordinary lady, and I just want you to know about her. I'm sure you will. She's not going to go leave our lives. Thank you, Misha. George, the 2 most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. One was the first time that your mummy looked at you when you were brought onto the ward and lay down on the bed, and you looked in her eyes. It was the most natural and beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. The second most beautiful thing I ever saw was coming back to the ward when you had finally woken up and returning from having a good sob on my own in private in hospital corridors, and walking into intensive care and seeing you sat on Misha Costa's knee while she fed you, and talked to your mummy and reassured her that nothing that she's done, nothing she ever did, caused you to have Type 1. And not only did she save your life, she cared for us, she cared for your mummy in a way that just, well, in a way that changed my life, changed the way I look at people. She's an astonishing lady, and there are many like her working on the NHS. It's John Lilly as well, the man who put the wire into you. Anna Sadler Harris, you know, who stayed with him for 3 days when he was born. All of these proper heroic types in the NHS. Anyway, I just wanted to bow down for them and have that on camera, and so that you know about it. It's never forgotten. Let's do my advice, shoddy as it is. This is kind of what I was going to say. I've got a prompt here so I don't forget. You're a child now, you're 3 years old, and the world is yours to be devoured. The question you ask most is why. And adults do this really boring gag where they say, oh, my child keeps asking why, my child keeps asking why. Well, never lose your spirit of inquiry. Never stop asking why. Never listen to adults who are showing off to one another about their kids. Never ever stop asking why. Your imagination is astonishing. Embrace it and let it fly. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing. Be as uninhibited about that as you can. Let it go. You start the day with a sort of dazzling enthusiasm for life. It's utterly infectious and quite correct. Don't change this. You talk to anyone and everyone as if they're your best friend. It's the right way to be. You never sit in judgment and you give everyone a chance. You've taught me a real lesson here. When you go to school, you're going to learn that people can be a bit more cruel. But all it is that everyone's just a bit scared and they're trying to find someone to cling to. Some people go about it in the wrong way. Never play the room. There's no sense in being a hero or a clown for a day. There's a great big world out there. Sometimes not being that cool is the coolest thing of all. You have to remember that. Never play the room. Look beyond it. And then when you get to being a teenager, this is something I know a bit about, and something I promise I'll never forget. So there's some things you have to remember. These are really important, and this is where I can help. You are not mad. You are not weird. You are not repulsive or ugly or thick. You're not too fat. You're not too thin. You're not too anything. Your body's playing tricks on you, okay? And your mind is too. You just have to remember that, and you have to hang on in there. Something will happen to you at this age. You'll start to think that everything I say and everything that I am is ridiculous. It's an essential part of growing up. You have to challenge me and stop listening to me so much. Forgive me if I look sad. Sat in the corner. It's because you're my hero. You always have been, always will be. But I will get over it. You have to find your own way. You'll be making up your own mind about the world now. You have to remember to talk to me, and that I'll always listen about anything. There's nothing you can say or do that will make me stop loving you. Nothing. And if I've grown tired and if I've forgotten how to live, you show me this video. You sit me down in front of it, and then we'll talk. When you get to being a late teenager, it's really hard to not start every sentence with me, myself, or I. I can just tell you that there's nothing that anyone can say to you that's going to bring you any sense of validation. You want to be the smartest, you want to be the most handsome, you want to be the strongest, the quickest, and you want everyone to tell you about it. It'll never be enough. And anyone who says anything, anyone who likes you because of something that you can write down on paper, isn't worth knowing at all. The only thing that makes you feel good is contributing and helping other people. The only thing. I'm scanning down here. I haven't got much to say. I haven't lived long enough, George. When you're in your 20s and you're unsure what to do with your life, just always come back to that very thing, helping people. Think about people like Misha Costa. And the best kind of help is when no one knows that you've done it, and you've done it purely for unselfish reasons. You've put other people above yourself. It will make you feel wonderful, and it will make you feel like you belong. Nothing else can bring you that. I've had a modicum of success, I know I have. Won prizes and things like that. And some of those have given you a nice feeling, but they don't last, and it's over very, very quickly. The things that stays with you is helping people. If you haven't worked out by this age that girls are better than you, then there's no hope for you. I think you knew that when you were 3 years old. I think girls still get frightened. They mess up and they're insecure, just like us, not invincible. But women are the best. They have the least ego and they contribute the most. Treat them with respect. Challenge those who don't. Challenge the racists. Challenge the ignorant. Challenge the bullies. Opinions are nothing, I'm afraid. It's so important that people like you stand up for other people. Just keep asking yourself, what am I here for? And it's not for you. You are not here to serve yourself. You've got to remember that. It's going to help you so much. It's going to make your life a lot happier. We talk a lot about fear and a lot about not being frightened of anything. It's Rich coming from me, who's showing me such courage. But there'll be silly things that you're frightened of as you grow up. And you've got to remember that most of them are nonsense. Always think about what you're really frightened of. Rejection or wounded pride or failure. Failure is the best thing that will ever happen to you. You learn nothing from your success and everything from your failures. That's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. Hang on to that. I don't care who you fall in love with, girl, boy, it's up to you. I suspect it will be girl, judging on your behaviour so far. But whatever you decide, that's absolutely fine. Just give them all of you. And think of them before you think of yourself. Your mum lights up my world. That's it. I wanted to just talk to you and for it to be personal to you. An hour before I went on the run, the last thing I did was kiss you on the head and tell you that you're my world. And I do that every night. I will do that tonight. And though I may not be doing that when you're 18 years of age, because you won't want me to do it anymore, I'll still feel it, and that feeling is never going to go away. The really important thing is when you look back at this, some of it's going to make you emotional. And I think, sensitive boy that you are, you will worry that you caused us pain or you made our lives difficult. Nothing could be further from the truth. Diabetes is a pain in the butt. You have been utterly life transforming. There is something that you do every day, and everyone talks about their kids and how funny and hilarious they are. Well, yeah, they are, and so are you. But you just teach us about how to be, whether it be the way that you wake up every morning, whether it be your extraordinary kindness or generosity, whether it be the fact that you ask everybody if they're happy, and you listen and you care about the answer that comes back to you. Your breathtaking love for your sister, and your willingness, as I've talked about, to be everybody's best friend. You're such a wonderful boy with a massive heart who's transformed my life, and I know you've transformed your mum's life too. Everybody talks about you, Georgie. You've lit up the world, and I think that you've achieved more in your 3.5 years than I have in 37 years. So remember that. You are never ever, will never be a burden. We love you unstoppably. I will never stop coming through the walls for you. I may not run 3 marathons again because I don't want to bother people, and in all likelihood I'm going to be off social media within a couple of weeks. But I just want you to know that. Alright, last words for you. I can just say thank you again to everyone so much. Thanks for bearing with me, whittering on, and listening to me give my son advice. I just wanted to be as open as I possibly can, and for you to know a bit about George. I'm so grateful for the response. Honestly, I do want to reach out and grab you all, and if I haven't written to you yet, I will. Thank you so much. Loads of love to you all, and that's it. Thanks. Bye bye.